Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Trisha, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you my recipe for a really delicious apple crumble. I really happen to like fruit-based bakes and desserts, so for me this one is a must-have at least a few times when apples are in season. And I've tweaked the recipe in such a way that it's not too sweet, but is just perfect, and you can enjoy it for dessert without feeling too guilty about it. So I've taken a few different varieties of apples. You can use whatever's in season at the moment. You can use just one variety or mix and match a few of your favorite types. So I'm going to start off with about 7 apples. You will need anywhere between 5 to 7 apples for this, depending on the size of the apples that you're using. So these apples need to be peeled, cored, and chopped up. So the first thing you're going to do is peel your apples. I find it's easier to peel the apple once it's quartered, so that's what I'm going to do. And then you're going to just chop it up into smaller pieces. Just like so. And straight away pop it into the dish that you're going to use to bake your crumble. So the apples are all peeled, cored, and chopped up. Now to these apples, we're going to add a few things. So we're going to put in half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. I'm just eyeballing it. We love cinnamon in the apple. I'm also going to put in 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. This will soak up any of the excess moisture that the apples release while cooking, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm also going to squeeze in about 1/4 of a lime. If you're using lemons, you can use the juice of half a lemon. And you're going to mix everything through the apples. So one thing for you to remember is that volume of apples will reduce a little once those apples cook down. But if you feel that your baking dish may not be able to handle that amount of fruit, take out some of the apples into a smaller baking dish or a little ramekin, and you can have another individual single serve apple crisp as a little treat for yourself. Another optional add-in to the apples is nutmeg. You can add spices like nutmeg or ginger if you'd like. I'm just keeping it very simple with cinnamon today, but in the past I have used other spices as well, and those versions also turn out really well. So for the topping, one of the first things we're going to prep is the butter. I need 125 grams of butter here. So this is cold butter. I'm just going to cut that up into little cubes so that it's easier to mix through the flour and the oats for the topping. So I've just cut them up into little pieces like this, and I'm going to tip them in a large mixing bowl. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. This is a half a cup measure. So that's half a cup and 1 cup. And now what you're going to do is, either with your hands or a fork, you're going to cut that butter into the flour, or if you have a pastry cutter like this one, you can just use that to make the job a little easier. My fingers tend to be a little on the warm side, so the butter melts really easily while doing this. So I just use a pastry cutter like this. So most of that butter has broken down, and just the last little bit, I'm going to rub that into the flour using my fingers. You're going to continue doing this till the flour and butter resemble the texture of coarse wet sand. So this is what the flour and butter mix looks like. Like you can see, it resembles coarse wet sand. If you've got a few lumps of butter in there, relatively smaller sized, that's completely okay because the next step will take care of that. Into this, we're going to add a cup of rolled oats. Three-fourths of a cup of brown sugar. And to bring out all those flavors, you're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to give everything a good mix. I'm just going to try and break down the last of the bigger clumps of sugar just with my hands. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thinly slice some almonds. If you've got slivered almonds in your pantry, you can use that as well. So that's the 1/4 cup of sliced or slivered almonds. That is a bit of an optional add-in. I love the texture that it adds, but if you want to leave it out, you can. If you want to substitute it with some other nuts that you prefer, you can definitely do that as well. So our topping mix is ready. All that's left is to now add that crumble topping over the apples. There we go. This is ready. This goes into an oven that's been preheated to 180 degrees Celsius for about 35 to 40 minutes or until everything is nice and golden brown. And our beautiful apple crumble has just come out of the oven. Now, as much as I would love to sit and dig into it straight away because it smells so good, the house smells absolutely amazing right now, I'm going to wait for this to cool just a tiny bit before we can try some out. Now, this apple crumble is delicious enough to serve by itself, but you can also serve it along with a scoop of your favorite vanilla ice cream or even some gorgeous vanilla custard. Any way that you choose to serve it, I really hope you enjoy this recipe as much as we do. So it's not the prettiest of desserts to serve up, but when I tell you that this is so tasty and so comforting, you don't need to take my word for it. Try this recipe out yourself and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to go in for a little bit of a taste. I want some of the crumble, those pieces of almond, and some of that apple all in one mouthful. Just as good as I remember it. The apple is so beautifully stewed and that cinnamon flavor really comes through and shines. And sometimes the simplest variants are the best. So start off by trying it with just the cinnamon. You really can't go wrong with apple and cinnamon as a flavor pairing. And that crumble adds all kinds of yumminess to it. Those almonds make such a difference to this crumble. So if you've never tried making a crumble with almonds before, try it out and let me know what you think of it. If, like me, you enjoy fruit-based bakes and desserts like this one, go ahead and check out my apple pie recipe that I had posted a while back on the channel. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you, as well as in the card section above. I'm gonna go and devour this now. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with family and friends that you think might enjoy it too. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.